I have never claimed to be a Spyderco expert. I know a lot about Spyderco, and I've been involved in collected and owned Spydercos since like the late 80s. Yes, that's 1980. That's a long time ago. Some of you probably weren't even born by then, but that's okay. Let's not go there. However, that being said, I didn't know this model even existed. But again, Spyderco is not my main focus these days, as it was in the past. This is the Spyderco Kapara. This belongs to Aussie Mike. Came to me from a person in Idaho, I think it was, that he bought this from. This is a pretty cool knife. I don't love it. I'm not going to rush out and try to find one, but it's pretty cool, and we're going to talk about it. Here's the actual part number of this particular one. This one was a DLT exclusive, from what I understand. Kapara means redback. And this is, what's cool about this one, and I totally understand why Aussie Mike bought it, is because it was designed by Alistair Phillips, who is an Australian knife designer and maker. And this is fashioned after his redback folding knife model. Spyderco kept it with the red G10 liner to signify that red back, which I think is awesome. Redback is a Australian spider with a red line down its abdomen, actually, from what I think I read. I'm not sure why they call it the red back and not the red abdomen, but I could be, maybe I have that backwards. But I remember reading and thinking, it's abdomen, but you call it the red back? Whatever. This knife was primarily designed for kitchen tasks. And cutting vegetables, really, is what Alistair Phillips designed it for. And I'm sure it works great for that. I personally wouldn't even know how to cut a vegetable. For food prep, I can cut it on my plate, although vegetables don't find their way on my plate very often either. So let's just say I am not the best to talk about how or when to cut your vegetables. I will leave that to the professionals. Professor EDC can probably chime in and give way more tips about kitchen usage of knives. This thing fires and the action is fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. And if you followed my channel for any duration of time, you know that I don't like the compression lock because it pinches my finger when I deploy it. Not this one. I don't know if it's because it has such a relief cutout for the lock bar. That could be it. And on the PM2s and PM3s and things like that, it doesn't have as big of a cutout. That could be. I also don't love wire clips. Again, part of the reason why I am not rushing out to buy one of these. Ooh, it actually worked. That was very awkward to get my finger in the hole and do it that way. But yeah, and I hate the reverse split. Anyway, I digress. I'm rambling. Let's talk about the specs on this guy. 4 5/8 closed, 8 3/16 overall with a 3.58-inch blade, 3.39 cutting edge, 0.019 behind the edge. So it's not the thinnest, sliciest. So it's not going to slice your tomatoes paper thin, but it's going to do a great job just prepping. Blade steel is CPM 20 CV. Weighs in at 3.5 ounces. Overall thickness is 0.514. It is reversible pocket clip. This works great in the pocket. I don't love this kind of humpty hump. I love a recurve, but on the blade, not a recurve on the spine. That's just me. This is gray G10 with red G10 backspacer. The standard model came with a carbon fiber scales, black carbon fiber, and the red G10 backspacer still. The scales are milled out is the word I am looking for that just escaped me as I went to go say it. So there is some weight savings milling on both sides. which helps. I think it's a very cool design. I don't know. It almost looks like a pterodactyl on the blade. The blade looks like a pterodactyl to me, so I can never unsee that. It was made in their Taichung facility, which has some of their most, I think everybody would say, is Spyderco's best factory in the world. Just going to go out on a limb and say that. The fit and finish on this thing is exemplary, and it feels very nice in the hand. It is super sharp. You have Phillips maker mark right there. Yeah, this is a cool knife. And I thank Aussie Mike for sending this in. It really does feel good in the hand. The pocket clip disappears. There's no hot spots. You can choke up a little bit because they do have this finger choil here. Not in the blade, but just here. And that gives you the grip that you need for some more delicate tasks. Give you a couple of quick size comparisons here so we don't belabor this. Here it is with the Sharpie. We've got to pull out another Spyderco, the Delica. Talk about that. I totally spaced on the price. Sometimes I get into prices. Sometimes I do not. This is the Kubi KB237. This is $40 on Amazon. This one is lists at $350 on the Spyderco website for the standard version. I didn't find a price for this exclusive version. Maybe Aussie Mike will chime in the comments of what he spent on the secondary. Maybe, maybe not. I don't care. I don't talk too much about secondary pricing often myself, so I get it. This is the VC Edge interface. But you can, so list price is $252 on Spyderco's website for the standard version. I did see it on, it was either Blade HQ, Knife Center, or DLT, one of those for the standard version at like $240, $250. So you might be able to find them if you are so inclined. All right, let's pull out the brand new to me Hellraiser from Red Horse Knife Works. I love this thing. This is the latest knife in my collection, period, and my latest Hellraiser. This is an older custom from Ed Kim. So that one's for you, Professor EDC. If you're watching, let me know down below. So there you go, guys. A quick look at the Spyderco Kapara. I think it's cool. I'm not going to rush out and buy it, but again, I shouldn't have bought this either because I am trying to be better about my addiction, and having a YouTube channel isn't helping me and my 12 steps in my knife addiction problem, but that's a different video. So if you've made it this far in the video, comment down below 12 steps for me, because I would love to hear if you've made it this far, and check out my Spyderco playlist in the corner. Thanks a lot, everyone.